Rate of change from a graph. Welcome. It's nice to have you back. All right. This week we've been figuring out rate of change from a table. I'm going to turn this table into a graph and they'll both show you the same rate of change. It's like magic. All right, on this table, what we've been doing this week, say I wanted to know what was the rate of change from 0 to 3. Whatever their numbers they're asking you what's the rate of change from, they're asking you about the x column. So from 0 to 3 in the x column is 3 spaces. You added 3 to get from 0 to 3. What did you add or subtract in that same interval in the y column? The same interval in the y column is from here to here. You went from 1 to 7, so you added 6. So is your rate of change 3 over 6 or is it 6 over 3? That's what you have to decide. Well, you have to remember that rate of change is like rise over run. It's like slope. Rise is the y-axis, run is across the x-axis. So it's rise over, that means rise on top, run on the bottom. So it's 6 over 3, which reduces to 2 over 1, or just a plain old 2. Those would be the two acceptable answers for the rate of change from 0 to 3. Okay, so that's a little review. How do you find rate of change with a table? That's how you do it. Now we're going to turn that table into a graph. We're going to say this x column on our table is the x-axis on our graph, because that just makes sense. And then we're going to say the y column is the y-axis. And then we're just going to fill in dots for each one of these entries in our table, which we have 5 of them. 5 entries. At 0, we were at 1. So each one of these entries is like an ordered pair. It's a point on the graph. 0, 1 is right there. How about the point 1, 3? After 1 on the x, we were up 3 on the y. So we were right there. And then similar, so on and so forth, 2 and 4, 3 and 7, 5 and 10. So those are our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that represent our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows in our table. Now we can answer the same question that I just asked you before. What is the rate of change from 0 to 3? But I'm going to erase this table so that you can't do it the old-fashioned way. You got to look at the graph and figure it out from the graph. So sorry, bye-bye table. It was nice knowing you. Now we've graduated to the graph. From 0 to 3, well, that's this point is 0 in the x-axis. Remember, these numbers still mean the x, so we're looking at the x-axis. From 0 to 3, that's this point. 1, 2, 3, right here. So what is the rate of change from here to here? Well, rate of change is y over x. So how far did it change in the y direction to get from this point to that point? 6. From 1 up to 7 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces we went up. So we went up 6, and how far in the x column did we go from 0 over to 3? 3 spaces, 6 over 3, which reduces to 2 over 1, otherwise known as the whole number 2. All right, so same answer because it's the same set of data, just a different way to represent it. Instead of putting your data in a table, you put it on a graph, but it says the same thing. So you just have to be able to interpret rate of change from a graph or from a table. If you don't like trying to count like this on a graph, if that's confusing you for whatever reason, you could turn this graph back into a table and then figure out rate of change the way you're comfortable from a table. If you prefer to do that, each one of these points is an entry in your table. So this is the point 0, 1. This is the point 1, 3. This is the point 2, 4. This is the point 3, 7. and this is the point 5, 10. So you got 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 7, 5, 10, and now we're right back to where we started. So if you want to do that, name the ordered pairs in your graph and turn those ordered pairs back into a table. And now you can figure out from 0 to 3 was 3 spaces, and it was 6 over here, so that's 6 over 3. Back to the same thing. All right, so just count up and over from one point to the next on your graph, and you're done. Or turn your graph back into a table, and if you're more comfortable with that, and then figure it out from the table. There you go.